Hi, my name is Amanda Frankel and I'm with Our Crafty Playdate, and I wanted to show you my alternate project for this month's Paper Pumpkin. If you're not familiar with Paper Pumpkin, it is a monthly kit that is mailed directly to your house, and everything you need is in the box that this comes in except the adhesive, unless it's glue dots or something odd. But if it's just regular straight up glue, you're on your own, but everything else is going to be in this box. This month's kit made these adorable invitations. I'm going to bring these up so you can see. They are sliders, so the flame would stay on the outside thing, and then this slides out, and you can either put a gift card in here, or it's got little inserts that you can pop in there, or you don't have to put anything at all. Completely up to you. But it was so adorable, and I was only sad that it came exactly 1 week after my daughter finished her birthday invitations. But it did give me an opportunity to make some alternate projects for you. So this is what I made using the materials in the kit. I only added the base of the cardstock. Everything else, I think pretty much, I'm going to say most everything else was in there except maybe the ribbon and the base of the cardstock. In this kit, you do get ink. It came with 2 different colors of ink. It came with Bermuda Bay, which is kind of this darker aqua color. And then it came with this color here, this pinkish color called Flirty Flamingo. So fun. Okay, in any case, we're going to use Flirty Flamingo for this. As you can see, I used it here, and then the inside has Happy Birthday in there. The coolest feature of this card, check this out. This pops right out without damaging this. The person that you send this to then could put something else in here and re-gift it, or they could just stamp on here, happy, to you. You could put just a Post-it note in here to say happy birthday, and then your friend could actually re-smile this card. So that's kind of fun. And then they would have this little thing. And would this not be the cutest little magnet, or you could put up on your refrigerator, or, I could even put some magnet paper back here and make it a magnet. Or it could be a cute bookmark. You could do all kinds of things with this little feature. Or it could just be an embellishment for a scrapbook. In any case, let's get started making this card. All right, so the pieces that I need here, of course we need a card base. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. To fold my card base, what I do is I just kind of match it up with my fingernail. A lot of people score it. I am just thinking that this is way easier. So there you go, that's done. There is my base. And I'm gonna just set that off to the side, and we will take care of the inside of that later. So now we've got that part made, and now we've got these other features to make. So let me show you how I made a vase. The vase is actually made from this flame. The flame looks like this, and it's like this, and I'm thinking, what could I do this with? This could be a Christmas ornament, right? You could hang that on a little Christmas card, would be adorable. But what about if we just cut off a piece? Well, what would that be? Not sure. Elf ear, maybe. But if I cut off that, it's a flower vase. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. I'm going to pull in my trimmer. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. No, that's in. Sorry, guys. All right, so what I did was I kept the flat side, and I put it at like 1 3/8, let's say. Like this. And I did try to keep it as straight as I could here. This candle is not exactly symmetrical, which is okay because it's kind of a little wonky base. And so that's fine. So here is my vase. Cute. And I have a leftover piece. Well, you know how much I adore leftovers. So it's not really going to be a leftover. It's going to be this piece up here. So let's go ahead and get that done. Of course, I did not pull out that piece of my kit. Okay, so this is what that piece looks like. You can see it here, right? It's got slits cut in it already, one here and one here. So that's where you would put your gift card, or in this case, our little pocket card. And it also comes with these little pop-outs that I cannot get to come off the table. Okay, here we go. It also comes with these little pop-outs. This one says it's a party, adorable, not having a party. So I'm going to flip it over, and that's what I used for this white piece here. As you can see, it would be too big. It is exactly the size of the blue piece. The reason that I did not make it, didn't just use this hole, is if I put that in there, it just vanishes, right? I needed something behind it. So I knew that these slits were going to hold this piece. So that is what I used. Just held it with my trimmer, put my blue against it, and cut it out using my trimmer. And so I had this piece. So that is going to be my base here. But I'm still going to use this little card. Let me put my base over here. Okay. I'm still going to use this little card. I'm just going to trim it. So I'm going to tell you a lot today to give stuff a haircut. And what I mean by that, and now I will see if I can zoom in. Not sure. All right, what I mean by that is I'm going to cut it with just a little bit left. So I'm going to put this right at the edge of the, what color would you say that is? Brown, gray, I don't know. All right, I'm putting that right at the edge of that gray thing, keeping it as straight as I can, and I'm cutting that off. So this one is a big haircut, okay? And I am so shaking the table today. I'm so sorry. All right, here we go. We're going to give it a haircut this direction now. Okay, so now this is the size of my white piece here. See that? And what that did was it just these little pieces that I trimmed off gave me enough to have a little frame then on my blue. So that part is done. Let's see, do I need the trimmer for anything else? I don't think so. We're going to move, well, in a minute maybe, but not right this second. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and stamp this. So I'm going to use my Flirty Flamingo ink pad, and I use my full size. Even though I do have the little ones, I save those, and I told you that I travel a lot with my kids, and so I take them on the airplane. Now, this is a photopolymer stamp, so I am going to put it on my tray, and I'm just using, again, that back of that. I am going to put it on my stamp mat, Stampin' Pierce mat. If you don't have one, you could use a mouse pad. It is not exactly the same, but it does help a little bit. This pad is nice. It's a little firmer than a mouse pad. It's not quite as squishy, so you don't get the edges, but it does have a little give, which the photopolymer stamps don't have, so that works perfectly well. So then we've got the 2U. Let's see, what else do we need in here? Oh, okay, so let's get started. So I knew for a fact that my blue piece here was going to pop into here, right? Because remember, it looks like this. So my blue piece was going to pop into here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it in for a second, just like that. If you have a hard time getting those little slits open, just poke your scissors in there, but be super gentle. And I am going to eyeball cut. How about that? I'm just going to eyeball trim the bottom of this card using the grid line here so that I am cutting relatively, in a straight line, which is always something. Let's do right there. How's that? Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so now I've eyeball cut that. I'm going to save this piece I just cut off the end because I'm sure that I could use it for something. But I'm going to go ahead and glue with a little of my Tombow this piece on here. This is my little triangle here. It is the bottom of my flower pot. Okay. When I do use the liquid glue here, I am going to only go, that was the cap falling. Did you hear that, everybody? I'm only going to go around the edge. Do you see that? One here and one here. I used way too much. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. I'm going to do that and not do it right through the middle like I normally would because I am going to use a hole punch in a little bit, and I don't want to gum up my hole punch at all. Probably wouldn't, but that's okay. All right, that is not particularly symmetrical piece, but I think I may have rotated it. Yeah, all right. See, we all do it. You're not alone. All right, that's better. Okay, so that piece, I'm going to let that set. Now I don't need this in here anymore. I just wanted to make sure that I was cutting it at the right height. Okay, so that's good for now. We're going to let that dry. And now I am going to focus on more of this part. All right, so in order to make those flowers, and I think they are super adorable. They're kind of little wonky flowers. In order to make those flowers, I used our new succulent framelit set. You're going to see how messy mine are right now. Ooh, oh, how fun. I just have a little bonus prize. A little bow. All right, so I used the succulent framelit set, and I love it. The two that I used for the flowers are not in here because they're over on my Big Shot. But it has so many different sizes and shapes, so that is fun to layer. but I'm using them independently. And so I cut them out already so that you could see. And I cut them right out of the other parts that come in here. So I cut 3, just like here, because you kind of want to do 3 if you can. I'm making a mess. Let me clean that up. All right, so I cut them. This is part that came in the kit, and I cut them right out of the edge here. And it didn't matter that I sometimes got a little white on there. It doesn't matter because they're super cute little flowers, and it does not matter. And I liked that it had the lines of the patterns in there. That's fine. This one's like this because I'll show you what I did with him. I gave him a haircut, super small haircut, and just shaved off a little piece here. You can see I kind of just shaved off a little piece here. That's going to be my stem. See my stems here? So what I'm going to do is put a little glue here and stick one of my flowers on like that. All right. Now, if I did get a little white or a little color on the edge of one of my petals and I don't love it, that petal I would put toward the bottom of the flower because as you can see, it gets kind of hidden by the other guys. All right. And now I'm just going to turn this around to save myself a little time and aggravation, and I'm going to glue my second flower on here. Okay, and then I'm going to let those flowers set up just a minute. I'm going to put those right here. Looks like a little fire stick. I could twirl a fire stick here. All right, so this is pretty good now. No worries. I'm going to go ahead and cut punch with my punch the hole, the circle hole. And okay, you guys know me by now. Am I going to throw away that little hole punch? No, I'm not. This is the 1/8 inch handheld punch. I am going to save all those little circles. That's what it looks like on the back. There you go. There's the front because those are the centers of my flower. Okay, so I need that. Oh, I didn't tape him in very well. The flames come on a big sheet like this and they just punch out. But look at all this extra. This is all extra. So there's another one here and another row here. I think you can see. But it gives you so much here. So I will absolutely be punching stars and stuff out of here. But in the meantime, I need 3 little flower bellies. So I'm going to use my hole punch here. And I'm just going to stick that on there and punch. And you know what? For good measure, I'm going to punch an extra, and I'll show you why. All right. Okay, so I do have 4. All right, so in general, I would tell you use liquid glue. You know I use it all the time, my Tombow. But I don't like to mess with super tiny pieces like this, so I do use a Xyron. It's not something that Stampin' Up! Sells. Maybe one day. Maybe I should put that in the suggestions, but it's a little sticker maker, and so I am gonna use it today just to be a little speedier. If I were making a bunch of these, I would probably not use my Xyron. I would make a little puddle of my liquid glue, and then I would use a toothpick and just apply it that way, and it would make my life pretty easy. But since I am videotaping today, I'm gonna do this. And it's gonna give me a couple. Of course, not all the ones I need, but you're gonna forgive me. All right, and then I rub this and I pull this off, and it's made stickers. So it's made 3, but one's upside down. So we're just gonna have to deal with that. All right, now I've still got these flowers and they're probably set. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this off. Holding my little flower pot here, I would say, because I know that it's got to fit on here like that, I don't want it to hang off too far, so I would say that that's about as long as I want it. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it right about here, okay? And now I'm going to use it to make just a little bouquet. So I want that to be kind of in front, and so I'm going to cut that off. And here's my last stem, okay? Now, while I'm putting this together and putting this together here for you, gluing it, I want to tell you about Paper Pumpkin a little bit. It is Celebration right now, which means Paper Pumpkin is on special, and you can buy the prepaid 3-month kit for $55 instead of $59 and change. And that extra $4.50 is pretty nice. It includes the shipping. It comes straight to your house, and you're gonna love some of the projects that you can make with it. All right, so what I would do now is I would go ahead and just make my little bouquet. So here is my little bouquet, right? It's opposite. Is that gonna bother me? No. No, it's not gonna bother me. Okay, but once they are put together, oh, he's not set yet, right? Okay, forgot you weren't set. Okay, while you're setting, why don't we just put the other centers on? See, guys, we all do these same little mistakes. We glue things to our fingers. All right. So I would probably normally use my scissors to do this, but why change my method now? All right. Here we go. This one's already set. All right. You know what? While this last flower is getting set up, I'm just going to move these off to the side. We know what's happening here, so why don't I just go ahead and glue this guy together. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. So I'm just going to do a wiggle, wiggle with my glue. There we go. And you can see how little I really need. That liquid glue is great. It's so strong. It holds really, really well. And it gives me a second if I had it kind of crooked to adjust. Whereas if I use snail, and I know some people are big believers in snail, if I use snail, it wouldn't stick. Or it would stick, but it would not give me time to adjust. And this little glue that I just got here, do you see that? That's okay, because you know what we have? We have these adhesive remover squares, which I don't even, oh, I do have one out. It looks like this. Mine's a little disreputable at this point, but it just erases that glue right off once it's dry. So it's pretty fabulous. Okay, so I can go ahead and assemble this too while I'm sitting here waiting for the glue to dry, waiting for the paint to dry. All right, stick that in there. And this one in here. Good and good. Okay, now he's ready. And I'm going to do my ribbon. I'm going to show you how I do that. This is the Celebration ribbon. So if you get the 3-month prepaid Celebration kit or 3 kits for $55, that gives you 3 months of fun, but it also gives you a free item out of the Celebration catalog, and this ribbon is fabulous. It comes in a set of 2. The other one is silver. You can see here, I've been using the gold quite a bit, but I just think I'm gonna stockpile this a little bit because it's gonna be great around the holidays too. And I'm gonna wanna thread it through this hole, and so since that would make me completely crazier than I am, because it's bigger, I am going to use my trusty dusty dental threaders. All right, I get these in the dental aisle. You can go to Target, not mine, I bought them all. But you just get them out of the dental care aisle, and they would be what you would use for a bridge or for braces to floss. But for crafters, look at this. It's easy to see without my glasses on, and I can just pull it right through, and it's not hard. It's great for threading buttons and things like that. Now, I don't want this to be too long, but I just want it to be like that. I've only gone through once. I didn't loop it or anything. I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to cut at the opposite angle that it already was. How about that? So they both have it. I'm going to set that down. And now you say, well, that's going to fall right out. Well, it would, but I'm going to use this ribbon also. This ribbon is our gold 1/8 of an inch ribbon. It comes in silver also. And I love metallics, so they just have a little sparkle to them. And since we had the gold already in our vase, I thought that that would be a good idea. I'm going to leave this a little extra long. I'm going to loop this through here. There we go. And then I'm going to pull it. And then I'm going to play with it for a minute. Okay, and it's good. I'm going to cut that off. Easy, done. All right, so now we've got this part done. Of course, I'm going to definitely give this dude a haircut too. Sorry about that, but that's what's going to happen. All right, this is going to go on here on dimensionals. When you're doing a thing that has to stay kind of upright and you don't want it to get kind of bogged down, you want to make sure that you also give it a dimensional in the middle. Nobody wants a saggy bottom, so that would give it a saggy bottom. And here, these are the corners sticking through. I don't want to put a dimensional on them because I don't want to trap them. I want it to be able to slide out. So I'm going to just miss that. So you can see that this guy's going to stay without a problem. If you have a hard time ever peeling these papers off too, you can just poke them with your thumbnail and then they just roll right off. Right? Poke them and then they just roll right off. Even when you're filming, which usually is when it doesn't happen. Okay. All right. So that, I'm just going to do it at an angle. Although, you know what? The other one I did at an angle. Let's do this one straight on for you people who don't like wonky angles. All right. We're going to trim that now because that's going to make me crazy. Let's just do you here and here. We'll get it to lay down later. All right, so now it looks like this. My flower should be dry or set anyway. It's not going to have its gold little middle right now because remember I did not get that middle to come out right. But I will put one in there later. It's not a big deal because it's there we go. All right, and now I'm just going to, I just made a little bouquet. And I'm just going to put them in my vase here, spread them out a little bit, and once I get them the way that I want them, I am just going to use a little piece of Scotch tape. So this is funny, I'll tell you this while I'm taping this. My kids, my son, my 9-year-old son, loves Scotch tape, loves it. If we ever go to the dollar store and I need to completely bribe them, moms, you do it too, you know what I mean. I will not let him get a harmonica or anything crazy like that that makes noise. So but I do let them each pick something. And my 9-year-old will pick the Scotch tape. It cracks me up every time. But on the flip side of that, I have to hide my Scotch tape at my house because he swipes it. All right, I'm going to put some dimensionals and I'm going to use just 2. And I know, why am I putting them so close together? I'm kind of just trapping that stuff down. No worries on there. All right. Alrighty. And then I'm going to stick that right on there. Perfecto. And now all I need is my middle. All right. So in my middle, as you remember, show you here. Look at all this stuff I've got going on. This is what my room looks like outside of this screen anyway. All right. So this is what it looked like in the middle. The stamps, the cool thing about this stamp set that came with our paper pumpkin this month is the happy and the birthday are separate. So you could do happy on the outside, birthday on the inside. You could just say, you make me, and then happy. It's got treat yourself, you deserve it. Pull, the pull is to pull the thing out. Celebrate with me. It's got a to and from, which let me just tell you, if you ever get to and from stamps, never get rid of them because you can use them for tags later. Or, you know, if I wanted to, I could put to and from on this little piece right here. And then when they pull that out, it's a gift tag later. So adorable. So these are great, great stamps. So hold on to those. All right, but happy and birthday are separate. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to just go ahead and stamp them for you really quickly now. And that never goes wrong when I'm videotaping. So don't worry. It'll be perfect every time. 1, 2, 3. When you are stamping, be sure, and I always use 2 hands, which is funny. I teach disabled adults, and they are the masters of this. They know to just lay it down. Don't wiggle, wiggle. Don't rock. 1, 2, 3, and lift. And what that does is it gives a chance for the ink to kind of sink into the paper so that you don't get a gappy image. And gappy is probably also a technical term. Okay, so now I'm going to stick this in here. Again, liquid glue. Stuck to my ribbon. Okay, liquid glue. And you can see not a lot. Look how little that is. But it is going to hold this like a champ. And again, it gives me time to straighten it if I need to, or slide it down because I made a mistake. All right, good. Good, 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 and good. And we're just about done. There was something that was making me crazy. What was it earlier? Oh, it was some glue, right? Did I have glue somewhere? I thought I did. Oh, you know what? I completely put it in the other card. All right, my glue was here, right? Anyway, it just erases it right off. Don't remember where I got the glue that was making me nutty earlier, but anyway, it just erases right off. And that, oh, it was here. Remember? It was here. So as you can see, I can just erase it. And glue, be gone. It's gone. All right. Wouldn't have shown anyway. And now I can put this in here, and this card is done. If you get an opportunity, I would love if you would swing by my store. which I will put at on the screen here for you. And check out Paper Pumpkin too. There is a link on there for the Paper Pumpkin kits for the specials, and then you get to pick one of the free celebration things too. So stop back and see me next month. I'll have another alternate plan, and come back next week. I have a fun thing for you. If you are a blog follower of mine at www.ourcraftyplaydate.com, you know that I participate in a couple of hops, blog hops, and one of the things that I made was a twisted easel card, and I got some requests to show you how to do that. So I will be doing that soon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a nice day.